because I get that all the time where, "Oh, you're masculine," and it's because I'm taller, like, I'm a tall woman, I'm independent, but, like, I don't necessarily care to have arguments with people, and so a lot of men try and come at me like, "Oh, you need to tone it down, or you need to do this, or you need to do that in order to be more feminine," and it's like, "Okay, but what am I doing that affects you?" You know what I'm saying? So I like that Taniela identified, being masculine as like, "Oh, you got it all under control, that's you. All right, go ahead, go do you." Because like I don't necessarily, personally, I don't necessarily give off that vibe. But men come at me and say that I'm a masculine woman because I'm more independent.
Like, there's nothing wrong with being independent. What I think for a lot of the way we see it is a lot of women when they say they're independent, usually what they usually say it in the context that I can financially support myself. That's what when women say I'm independent, it means I have my own career, I can take care of my own finances. But what a
Yes.
lot of women don't understand is like for men, like we really don't care about your finances. It's irrelevant to us. It doesn't matter. We could
So you would be okay with another woman having her bills paid by another man? That's what you're saying.
No,
no
that's a
what
major
I'm
red flag too.
But if she's
no what I'm
not
saying
but
no
if
no
she's
no
not functioning and like making her own money to support herself, but then
Is,
she's going off of somebody else's income,
is that
no.
man not a father?
is that
Are we
okay?
talking? Are we
What a
talking about
limit
her
first
father?
off, very limited response. So what I'm trying to say is your ability to provide financial support to me is irrelevant. So for you, so if you're independent, make your money. It doesn't matter to me if she stays at home and the parents pay for her bills. It doesn't matter for me because when you get in a relationship with me, I'm gonna take care of the finances. So I don't look for you for financial support. What I look for you is if you're supporting me, your traits as a mother. Can you raise children? Can you take care of a household?
Okay, but
Those are the things.
that's my question though. Would you be okay with a woman who is having her bills paid not by her family but by another man?
Who is
That's
that man?
that's fine with me. Well, if I got into a relationship with a woman in her previous relationship, her man paid all the bills. I don't mind with it because I don't look at finances. I don't care about finances. All I
Mm.
care about is if she's a great mother. When I have children with them, can she raise my children? Because finances is something I'm going to bring to the table. Whether her parents pay for it, whether she's independent on her own, whether her past relationship partner paid for it, it's irrelevant because, like I said, finances, we don't care about that as men. It's not something we look for as something that's a criteria for us to date you. For women, a man's finances is something that's important you have to look into because, eventually when you get pregnant, you want the guy to step up. For guys, we know our role is we are the provider and protector. So for me, it's like independence. For me, what I look for is a woman that's independent, that can take care of herself. Like when I'm at work, she's independent enough to be at home and take care of everything and not calling me for everything. Hey, what can I do with this? This is like harassing me. Like I want her to be independent on her own, that she can take care of her own
Self-sufficient.
responsibilities. Self-sufficient, yeah. I don't want to micromanage you. I don't want to call you and tell you what to do. I want you to let me do me as a man. I'm gonna go get the bread, and whatever you need to do at home, do you, and then we can just come back home and we can build a relationship. But I know oftentimes when women say independent, for most men, when we hear independence, we oftentimes we associate it with finances, and we know women who tend to make more money. You have to be at
Why?
a certain you have a certain degree. The higher you go up in the financial sector in the industry, you have to be you have to get masculine traits because you have to compete with men. So that's why for a lot of women who are very career oriented, going up the corporate ladder, because most of the men in that space are men, you have to be like them and to compete with them. So they tend to become more masculine. So that's why when we hear
Mm.
finances and the girl says, "Oh, I have a career. I'm very financially independent. I make a lot of money," we know, oh, she's very masculine. Because the woman that's more feminine, she's dependent on a man.
See, but why does me saying that I'm independent refer to finances only?
No, I'm just saying is that's
Because
because
this
the
is
way women say it. You see social media, right?
um,
Women say, "I'm
no,
independent. I don't need a man. I can handle my own. I'm a boss bitch. I'm
yeah.
a boss slave." You see that rhetoric all over social media. So when we see that, that's why I'm not saying all, but for most men, when we hear a woman says, "I'm independent. I don't need a man. I'm a boss bitch," we know it has to do some kind of form of financial that she financially can take care of herself, and she don't need that from a man. Daniela, you have something to add on?
It's exactly what you just said. So the strong independence have been given a big bad connotation by women in terms of how they use the word, especially around dating. most women who think in the same sense and claim they're strong and independent also use the phrases like, I'm not going to be your mother, this is not this type of relationship, without really looking at relationship in general as we compromise. You take care of me in certain ways, I take care of you in certain ways. But it's often seen as, I'm not your mother, I'm not going to look after you, I'm not going to clean up after you, blah, blah, blah. When most relationship, that's usually what happens behind the scene. You know, I go out and work, you know, you pick up my dirty sock and tell me off when I come home, that sort of thing, right? So I think what Fatty is essentially trying to get to is that strong and independent is essentially being self-sufficient. You're just being an adult. And what Will is trying to add on to that is we don't care if you're strong and independent. Just don't come at us with that energy of, I don't need you as a man. You know, when we're dating, I don't need you as a man, blah, blah, blah. I can do me, I can make my own money. Because if that same mentality is a mentality that you shouldn't be dating at all. If you don't need me, don't date. Like that's
Right.
that. I guess
Well, the
that's
thing is,
exactly what we're trying to